When I was little, roughly 4 or 5 years old, I had a friend. Let's call him Eli. Eli and I were best friends, and seeing as how we were neighbours, we often had play dates at each other's houses. One day after school, I'd been over at his house for a couple hours, and his mum told me it was time for me to leave because he had to go to his karate training. Being curious, I asked whether I could go. Quite evidently, she said yes. Fast forward 6 months, you couldn't have pulled me away from the dojo, even with the promise of a million chocolate bars. And trust me, I'm quite the chocolate. And soon I was there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, almost every day of the week. And on top of that, I was travelling from Luxembourg to the Netherlands and even to Portugal to compete for my club. Unfortunately, this on-top-of-the-world feeling didn't last forever, and as I put more and more of myself into the club and went to more and more competitions, I began to see the other side of things. By that, I don't just mean their thinly veiled favoritism, or their quantity over quality type of view, of bringing more and more people into the club, even though there weren't enough coaches to accompany us to our competitions. I mean the way they treated our successes, and how it eventually made me resent the sports and the life I was living. It got to a point where I realised, after a very long time, that the environment I was in was simply harming me, rather than supporting me. And after 6 long years, I sat down with my parents and I told them I wanted to quit. My parents, luckily for me, were incredibly supportive of my decision. And though my mum, being the one who'd been getting up at the crack of dawn to take me to a competition where I'd fight between 1 and 5 times for under 3 minutes each, wasn't exactly cheering me on, she and my dad provided me with the support I needed to follow through with my decision, something I will be eternally grateful to them for. Now you may be wondering why I'm telling you this story. After all, you could say that when things got rough, I gave up, I quit. Well, I'm telling you this story because last February, I went back and I got my black belt, one of the biggest achievements of my life so far. And what I learned from going back was really 2 main things. 1, too much of a good thing can really be a bad thing. And 2, it really is all about timing. Because if your heart isn't in it, you have to realise that not everything first happens at the right moment, and that just because you choose to leave then, doesn't mean you're giving up and you'll never return to it later. In 1967, there was a girl named Maureen Wilson. Some of you may know her by her more popular nickname, Mighty Mo. Like many other boys and girls who did sports at a young age, she fast excelled and became a headline-making athlete, taking part in the race of all races, a marathon. Mighty Mo ended up setting the women's world marathon record with a time of 3 hours and 15 minutes at the mere age of 13. Unfortunately, her story isn't as great as it would seem either though, and due to untrue cheating allegations, large-scale sexism, burnout, and eventual consequential lack of passion for the sport, she ended up quitting. Later on in life, she went back to the sport, wrote a book about her experience, and though she doesn't run professionally anymore, she does run for fun. Knowing this, it's pretty safe to say that her leaving did not equate to her quitting. Now you may think that I think very highly of myself, comparing my encouraged pursuit of karate with her incredibly inspiring journey with running. By no means do I think that, so please, don't get me wrong. What I do think is that there are similar aspects that both Mighty Mo and I share in relation to the importance of timing and pursuing a form of passion, which no doubt many other people in the audience share as well. When you find yourself in a position where you've put so much time and effort into something, but realise you no longer love what you're doing. A position which forces you to think, do I leave and give up everything I've worked so hard for, or do I stay and grow even more resentful? Like I've said, this position isn't something exclusive to Mighty Mo or to me. But whether the story is about my parents' friend Aaron, who recently went back to become a pilot,
or just my friend Kyla, who went back to badminton. The bottom line remains the same. This decision we've self-inflicted of do I quit and give up all this hard work, or do I stay and grow even more resentful, is something we've self-inflicted, stopping us from realizing one vital point, which is that just because we leave doesn't mean we can't ever come back. Just because we stop now doesn't mean we're giving up forever. I stand here today, bringing my speech to a close with the hope that though I've learned a lot from my experience, I can hopefully make it easier for other people to realise that they can always reignite a passion later on. Because at the end of the day, as I've said over and over and over again, leaving does not equate to quitting. Thank you.